Have you ever sat down to a plate of impeccably grilled fish, seasoned with a touch of lemon and fresh herbs, thinking you were making the healthiest choice possible? After all, it is fish, and it is well known that fish brings with it countless benefits for our health. We are about to discover something that might surprise you. But before continuing, like the video, share it with those who could benefit from it, and write to us in the comments from where you follow our videos. Honestly, in most cases, the idea that fish is a panacea is absolutely true. Fish is an excellent source of lean protein and is famous for its valuable omega-3 fatty acids. These nutrients are essential for heart and brain health, especially as we age. But think about this. Some of the fish we consume most frequently, believing that they are good for us, could actually hide more dangers than advantages. Imagine being told that a certain type of fish could slowly and silently compromise your health, affecting your memory, nervous system, and even your heart. All this would happen without you realizing it, until the damage becomes serious. The most alarming thing is that many people are completely unaware of it. As we age, our bodies lose their former efficiency in filtering toxins. Marketed as high-end products, it is almost impossible for these fish not to appear in our diet, maybe just occasionally during a family barbecue or dinner out. However, it is precisely these small episodes that accumulate, especially as the body becomes more sensitive. My goal is not to scare you, but rather to send you a message of caution. If you are over the age of 60 or are caring for someone in that age group, this information is crucial. In today's video, I'm going to reveal 6 types of fish that seniors should avoid at all costs. Which part of the video did you find the most interesting? Let us know in the comments. And if you find this content useful, I ask you to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, activate the bell so as not to miss our future updates. These are not just guesses, but information based on scientific research, real case studies, and the same recommendations that nutritionists give to their older patients. Chances are some of these fish are in your refrigerator right now. One of them, number 4, might really shock you. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to avoid and why. But more importantly, you'll discover better, safer, and smarter alternatives. Before we begin, a simple question. If you are here because you care about your health or that of a loved one, leave a short comment writing, "I'm here." Are you ready to get started? We'll talk about 6 fish to watch out for, starting with one that's often praised for its flavor, but has pitfalls for older individuals. The first one we talk about is the king mackerel. Imagine this scene. Your grandfather has always been the king of the family barbecue. Every Sunday, he expertly grills thick and juicy king mackerel fillets. He is a firm believer in it. It is good for the heart. It helps the mind. Over time, however, you begin to notice a change in him. He seems more tired and forgetful. Sometimes in the morning, his hands shake slightly. At first, you might think it's just the normal aging process. What if it's not? What if the very food you thought was your ally is actually causing more harm than you could ever imagine? Here's what you need to know. King mackerel is known to contain very high levels of mercury, more than many other fish species. Mercury is a heavy metal that the body has trouble expelling as we age. This means that it builds up silently, year after year, until it begins to affect cognitive function, emotional balance, and even motor skills. And this is where the misunderstanding often arises. Many confuse the king mackerel with the Atlantic mackerel. Yet, the differences are enormous. Atlantic mackerel is a much safer option. It contains less mercury and is an excellent choice. King mackerel, on the other hand, is a risk in disguise. If you have it in your freezer, it may be time to consider an alternative. Try substituting it with wild salmon or sardines, both rich in omega-3s and low in mercury. Now let's move on to a fish you might not even know you're eating. Let's talk about the tilefish, a truly sneaky fish. At a restaurant, you might order it as whitefish or catch of the day. It seems like a harmless option, a delicate and healthy fillet. But rarely are you told that the fish might actually be a tilefish, and that's a problem. Tilefish, particularly those from the Gulf of Mexico, have one of the highest concentrations of mercury anywhere, even exceeding that of king mackerel. For an elderly organism, this is a serious problem. Accumulating in the body, mercury begins to damage neurological health, memory, stability, and mood. To make matters worse, tilefish is often promoted as a premium product, but a high price does not always equate to a health benefit. When eating out, don't hesitate to ask what specific type of fish they're serving you. If the answer is tilefish, ask for a safer alternative like cod. Another fish with an aura of luxury is the swordfish. It is not an everyday food, it is reserved for important dinners. It is not uncommon to hear an elderly person say, "Tonight I will spoil myself. I will have the swordfish." From their perspective, it's a healthy pleasure. However, this seemingly innocent vice could be silently contributing to long-term health problems. Swordfish are one of the largest and longest-lived predators in the ocean. This means they have had years to accumulate mercury and other toxins. When it reaches your plate, it can contain very high levels of mercury. This metal is not easily expelled from an elderly organism and is deposited in the organs. This translates into a higher risk of neurological damage, memory problems, and cognitive decline. Also, proper cooking does not eliminate mercury. What are the alternatives? If you like a tasty fish, try trout or pollock, yellowfish. They contain very little mercury and are full of healthy fats. The next fish is everywhere, on sushi menus, in gourmet dishes. It is elegant and popular, but for the elderly, it could pose a significant risk. We are talking about big-eye tuna. Sushi nights are no longer just for the young, but this habit hides some pitfalls. Big-eye tuna, like swordfish, accumulate a lot of mercury. Unlike swordfish, however, this tuna is often eaten raw. This introduces a second level of risk: bacteria. An older immune system, naturally weaker, struggles to fight off infections such as salmonella or listeria. The combination of mercury exposure and bacterial risk creates a double threat. It is important to know that not all tuna is created equal. Bluefin and big-eye tuna are high in mercury. Canned light tuna, yellowfin or skipjack, on the other hand, is much safer. My advice: choose canned light tuna, limit consumption to 1 or 2 servings per week, and always prefer cooked options to raw ones. We continue with an extremely popular fish, but often raised in questionable conditions. Its name is farmed salmon. At the supermarket, you see a bright pink fillet and think you've got a bargain. But if the label says farmed, it could contain less protein and omega-3 and more harmful substances. Farmed salmon are raised in overcrowded pens and fed low-quality feed, often contaminated with dioxins and other harmful substances. These fish are given antibiotics and dyes to make their flesh pink. These substances can fuel inflammation and strain the body. The solution? Look for wild Alaskan salmon. It comes from cleaner waters, has a richer flavor, and doesn't come with the risks of intensive aquaculture. The last fish on our list is a comfort food for many, a taste that reminds us of home, but that can hide some warnings. It is the imported catfish. The one coming from some Asian regions is often raised in unregulated factories, using antibiotics and chemicals banned in Europe. When an older adult consumes this fish, they may be exposing themselves to drug-resistant bacteria, which their immune system has a hard time fighting off. The safest option? Choose catfish raised locally to more stringent standards, and regardless of its origin, always cook it very well. Final thoughts. After analyzing these 6 types of fish, let's pause and reflect. Think about what this means for your well-being or that of someone you care about. It is painful to watch a loved one make choices that unknowingly undermine their health, perhaps simply by following old habits. But now you are informed. Knowledge is power. You know what the risks are and what choices offer safety. You can guide your loved ones toward better options. This doesn't mean eliminating fish from your diet. It means choosing them with more intention. Opt for wild, low-mercury options. Small changes can lead to dramatic improvements in mental clarity, bone health, and heart health. Isn't that what we all want? Let today be the beginning. Tonight, check the refrigerator. Read the labels. Take a small, concrete step to protect your health and that of your loved ones. To recap, the 6 fish to carefully evaluate are king mackerel, tilefish, swordfish, big-eye tuna, farmed salmon, and imported catfish. Each seems harmless, but they hide a specific risk for the elderly population, from mercury accumulation to harmful bacteria. Now, I would like to hear from you. Have you ever consumed one of these fish regularly? Share your story in the comments. Let's learn from each other. If this information was useful to you, leave a like, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more practical advice.